Hey, it's Joe Barnes from the Screw the System channel, and I'm back with another reaction video. Now, I had no intention of making this video whatsoever, no thought that I might do it. This is purely spontaneous, and it's as a result of watching the film Just Mercy in the cinema this evening. It's probably, well, it is, it's well past midnight now. I've just got back from watching it, and I had to make the film now as opposed to tomorrow because I'm still raw with the whole emotions of it all and the implications of the film, and I felt like I wanted to discuss them. For more reference, watch previous videos, reaction videos of mine, especially the one When They See Us, and you'll get a flavour of what this film is about. Very much about racism in America. But another issue which I actually wanted to speak more about this evening, the racism in this film is blatant. One man called let me check my notes. One man called Walter McMillan, played by Jamie Foxx in the film, is falsely accused of murder of an 18-year-old girl. Walter is a black man. The girl is a white girl, and the evidence against him is there is no evidence against him. Basically, this man Walter had an alibi which was verified by maybe 20 plus people. He was at an actual gathering. You know, he was at a gathering with people when the murder took place. 20 people who could testify to that. No witnesses whatsoever, no evidence whatsoever. But the state wanted to get its man. The corrupt police force, the corrupt judicial system, corruption all round wanted to get its man. They decided that Walter was the man. The community were grieving the death of this 18-year-old girl, and somebody had to pay. Didn't matter who it was, preferably somebody black. That would fit their narrative. The black man was to be feared, is a criminal, commits crimes. It fits their narrative, so it doesn't really matter who it is as long as they're black. Ironically, when the whole thing finishes and you watch the credits to the end, it turns out there was evidence that it might have actually been a white man who committed the crime. So the racism is rampant. But I wanted to actually talk about well, it's not a separate issue, it's interconnected, but an issue which isn't talked about as much, and that is authority. And the huge problem we have with authority, clearly in American society, but it's the same here, UK society, I'm sure it's the same in every society. We have a massive problem with authority and the corruption that goes on when people are put in positions of power. Now, before I discuss that, just want to go into this brief outline of the film, and I'm aware there may be spoilers here, so I'm taking it more that you've probably watched this film already and you want to get some sort of feedback or share somebody else's experience of the film. Maybe you feel outraged just like I do. But anyway, the film, as I outlined, is about a man based on a true story, a man who's falsely imprisoned and put on death row. This man is going to be executed. Bear in mind, there's no evidence against him whatsoever, apart from a false testimony of a very unreliable felon who is offered a great deal to give testimony against this man, Walter. Anyway, Walter seems to be in a hopeless situation. Then along comes a new young lawyer from Harvard educated, who comes down to the south, to Alabama. This is set in the state of Alabama, to take on this man's case and reinvigorate his hope and the hope in his family as well, that this innocent man can be freed. And throughout this film you see the battle between good and evil, really. The innocent man and his lawyer, played by Michael B. Jordan, who's an excellent performance, against the state, basically, the corrupt police force, the corrupt judicial system, corrupt attorneys who will not give in, who don't want to appear to be racist, who don't want to appear to be corrupt, who are clinging onto their position of power. Very much reminded me of the Making of a Murderer documentary on Netflix with Stephen Avery, where the evidence again is overwhelming that Avery is innocent, especially Brendan Dassey, his cousin, is innocent, but the state won't give up. And this isn't the Just Mercy is set in 1987, so it's, you know, still not as enlightened times as now. The Stephen Avery case is set right now, and you can see how pitiful, how pathetically the state tries to cling to power, even in the face of condemning an innocent man. But anyway, that's a topic for another video. Back to Just Mercy. I've outlined the story, I've outlined the players involved, I've mentioned that racism plays a huge role in this film, but I also mentioned that I wanted to talk about authority and the problem with authority. And throughout this film, you see people using this excuse of, I'm just doing my job. You've got prison guards just doing their job. You've got attorneys just doing their job. You've got judges doing it. And it's an excuse I hear again and again and again. And this is the biggest problem, is that people don't stand up to authority and hide behind this excuse of, I'm just doing my job. Anyone who looked into this case could have told you that this man, Walter McMillan, was completely innocent. Prison guards should have known that. The prosecutors should have known that. The judges should have known that. But yet they go along under this pretense of, I'm just doing my job, as if that justifies being morally corrupt, acting in an appalling manner and taking the freedom away of an innocent man. It's the same situation I see with people in the armed forces. And I know this is probably a controversial point for a lot of people, because we're programmed in this system to believe that people who are in our armed forces are heroes. And I really don't believe that's the case. If you know that you're being sent over to overseas to fight in a unjust war, to advance some politicians or big corporations' aims, then it's on you to say, I'm not going. I'm not going to just do my job. I'm going to resist and face the consequences, come what may. Anyway, that was a little bit on this whole idea of the I'm just doing my job excuse. The other thing I wanted to talk about was just authority in general, and how we need to wake up and realize that authority figures cannot be trusted as a default setting. There may be some who are trustworthy, but I just think the nature of somebody wanting to seek authority over another person, whether that's a police officer, whether that's a judge, it immediately raises flags in my mind. Why do you want to subjugate that other person? Why do you want to control, more to the point, because it's all about control? Why do you want to control that other person and force your agenda on them? And my message, the wider implications of this, is because in the film you get to see how corrupt authority is, basically. And my message to you guys is, do not trust authority. They don't have your best wishes, the best intentions for your life. It's not at the heart of what they're doing. They may tell you that, and they may tell you authority is needed there to protect you, to help you, to guide you, but really people in authority are there to protect their own positions and power. Do not believe them. This film highlights just how corrupt the judicial system in America was at the time. I'm sure there are still cases of that going on today. But it's not just the judicial system, you'll see it throughout society. Corruption wherever there's authority, and whether there's people pretending that they're acting in other people's best wishes when really they're just holding on to their position of power. Anyway, I really recommend you go and watch this film. It is really, it evokes feelings of injustice and gives you an eye-opener into the degrees that some people will go to cling on to their positions of power. Thank God it has a happy ending. I was very pleased when the prosecutors, when the corrupt police, when the judges get embarrassed at the end of it, and when the truth comes to the light, and you get to see that these people are humiliated, these small-minded people are humiliated. So it's a lesson for everybody to watch this film. So that's my little rant video, my reaction to this. I hope it gets you thinking. I hope you also watch the film, and I will see you in the next video.